fans are lit. Like, fans are really lit. The most lit, in fact. And it usually ends up going either one of two ways. Either they hate something so much to the point where they can't just shut the fuck up about it. You know how haters like to get together and have a big circle jerk. Or they love something so much to the point where they take their fandom to another level entirely. Today's video is all about the latter. We don't want to give any more time to the haters. Like, please, no time for y'all haters. Because we're talking about fan remakes of classic old games. The gaming community is probably one of the most nostalgic groups on the planet. I mean, just consider how far we've come with gaming and graphics. How many gamers will still jump at the chance to have a crack at some of their favorite games from back in the day? Beyond that, even many gamers consider older iterations of their favorite games better than their more recent counterparts. To me, that remains still a matter of debate, but I do think we need to give credit where credit is due to the people who have decided to take it upon themselves to breathe some life into these classics. Number one on the list is Mesa open source. Now, Valve's Half-Life series took the gaming world by storm and kind of laid the framework for all first-person shooter games to follow in its footsteps. Lovers of the original Half-Life series have been frothing over this remake for years now, and it still stands tall as one of the best to date. Developed by the Crowbar Collective for the past 12 years, they've been putting their blood, sweat, tears, and most importantly, free time into remaking this game minus Zen for the fans. Black Mesa features completely new textures, reimagined environments, while still kind of staying true to the original design. There's brand new music, new high quality voiceover recordings that kind of match the old ones as well, so that's pretty cool. And they also made some quality of life improvements to the gunplay experience and some of the gameplay movement mechanics, and just in general made it a smoother, prettier, more immersive experience. 10 out of 10 should try. Number two on the list is Doom RL, or Doom Roguelike. The original Doom, the 1993 back in the day Doom, is considered by many to still be one of the most impressive feats of gaming for its time. It sort of redefined the way the world looked at gaming and also how gaming looked to the world. And seriously, bruv, if you grew up in the 90s and you didn't play this, you weren't a gamer. I'm sorry, it's just facts. T. Now, considering just how old this game is, and also it was designed with different coding on a different system and yada yada yada, remaking it from the ground up to play and feel like the original Doom while still looking better in a more modern engine would be a completely ridiculously huge undertaking. But what someone has done has kind of reinterpreted the base concept and made a top-down 2D roguelike version of Doom. It's pretty cool. Developed by Chaos Forge all the way back in 2002, which also just consider this, that's still like 9 years after the original Doom came out. They continued to update this mod all the way until 2013, so that's some serious effort that they put into it. Now, in all fairness, it's not anything that we haven't seen before, but considering that it was just made by two people, just two people, if you're into like that 2D top-down kind of scrolly dungeon vibe with endless perks and the most hilarious copy and scary sounds and just like old school pixelated graphics, that's definitely worth a try, worth a play or two, so kudos to them. The third entry on this list is Goldeneye Source. Now, this was my personal introduction into multiplayer shooter games, like that split screen vibe on the Nintendo 64, bro. So many memories. I'm pretty sure I've actually taken a controller to the face for headshotting people one too many times, and it happens. What you gonna do? This iconic shooter was redesigned in Half-Life 2's engine to bring a more modern flavor to an old school classic. Now, die-hard fans of the original game will not be disappointed. However, this remake is definitely more worthy of the term, because whilst the general aesthetic and tone have been kept, obviously with updated meshes, textures, and physics, they have made some gameplay changes that better reflect a more modern first-person shooter. The most striking noticeable difference will be that there is no more split screen because of, network technology and online gameplay. Now it's obviously operated on online servers, so there's no more split screen vibes, and you can have up to 8 players instead of just 4 in a map, so just twice the amount of smathing little bitches in the face. Also, definitely worth a play if you're into kind of going down a nostalgic trip, but you want better graphics when you do it. Number 4 on the list is Sonic Robo Blast 2. Now, this is an incredibly awesome entry. This modded Doom, the original 1993, 1 year before I was born, first-person shooter Doom, to look, play, and feel like Sonic the Hedgehog. In 3D, dog. I just spat everywhere. That's how excited I am. Gross. Now, this really is an impressive feat, and whilst it's still technically considered a mod, I think considering the overall scope of the project, the quality of the development, and the feeling of finesse and completion that you get when playing it, it's definitely worthy of being called a standalone title. Now, talking is one thing, but you really, honestly and truly just have to play this game to understand just how much work went into it and how well done it was. Also, keep in mind, again, that this is based off a first-person shooter game from 1993. I'm still trying to wrap my head around just how long ago that was. And taking that into consideration, the third-person movement controls are surprisingly fluid. Like, it does take a little bit of getting used to, but it's just so much fun that it's kind of hard not to enjoy. They've also kept so many of the original things that make Sonic, like all the sounds, the coin mechanics where you collect coins and you hit and you lose the coins. They've got all the different characters. They've got the blue shield. It's just a well-completed fan remake, or fan, I don't even know what to call this. It's like a whole thing, but just...
It's not a remake.
Yeah, because it's not a remake. It's more, yeah, it's like a whole brand new game of a different end. Like, yeah, you get me. You got me. Got you. I got you guys. Now, number 5 on this list has multiple entries because they are our honorable mentions of fan remakes of old classic games. First thing I want to bring into this equation right now is the TES Renewal Project team. This is a group of modders who has taken it upon themselves to bring the old school Elder Scrolls games into the more modern engines. For example, we have projects like Skywind and Skyblivion, where they're going to take Morrowind and Oblivion and remake the game inside Skyrim's engine, so the Elder Scrolls V's engine. Now, that is an enormous project, and there are no downloads available. They were at some point when it was still in beta, but it seems like they're still currently working on it, and if and when it gets completed, guaranteed gonna play the shit out of that, because I've always wanted to play Morrowind, but the graphics look gack. And the last thing I want to talk about is Pokemon in 3D. If you want a true Pokemon experience, if you want real like Pokemon Black and White, but in 3D, then some dude made one in Unreal Engine, and it looks phenomenal. It looks awesome. It looks like everything you could possibly want from a 3D Pokemon game. Like, you get to control your Pokemon and battle out other Pokemon and run around the Pokemon world in 3D space. That's everything. That's literally everything. Only issue here is that obviously Nintendo being Nintendo struck them down one time, I think about like 10% of the way into the development or 20% of the way into the development. So he hasn't made any progress on this further, but just look at it in its current state, it still looks rad. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you do want to download and try playing this, it's only in Portuguese.
Digo, ojalá haya otro Pokémon cerca, la verdad. Pero hostia, para ser una fase alfa.
So, I mean, good luck, bro, seriously. It still looks incredible. Anyways, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this installment of Reality Check. These are our top 5 picks for the best fan remakes of old school classic games. Let me know what some of your favorite fan remakes are. I think probably Black Mesa is going to take #1 spot on the list just because of how well done and complete it is. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time for another installment of Reality Check. Peace!